Good morning. I'm plugged into the charger. I hope it doesn't fall off. Good morning. If the cat goes over it, we're doomed. He gets needy when I've been... Hi, Nina. You guys, first thing I want to cover so I don't forget again is I've gotten... Good morning. I've had the fun of getting to know Nina by email and some stuff. And she's revamped her website, and she has a fun... I know, right? He's been out here in the office all night by himself, so he's like super needy. She's redone her website, and it's gorgeous. And she has a mini e-course that you can go sign up for. And here is her website. And that's... Oh, do you? I've got a couple... Lookingforwisdom.com, you guys. That's Nina Berry. She's on here every day. Lookingforwisdom.com. Go check it out. She's a great writer. I really enjoy her wisdom that she says she's looking for, but she actually already has. And you're welcome. She's been a great source for me for wisdom and bouncing ideas off of. We've had a lot of good discussions about cronedom and the wisdom that comes with turning 50 and turning 60, and given how long my family lives, I could easily make it over 100. So the more wisdom I can get, the better. But she has a cool little, one of those daily email courses that you can get for free. So go opt in for that and take a look around the website. It's totally great. I really like it a lot. It's really, really beautiful. And even the technical details, like the formatting of the blog posts with different fonts and spacing and stuff, is really pretty. Oh, see those? We got to get rid of those. Those have got to go. He tried to get out last night because there's a female cat with the neighbor. We got to get her spayed too. Trying to raise the money for all of that. His spay, her spay, here a spay, there a spay, everywhere a spay is the way it is around here. Freaking animals with their reproductive parts. I really wish there was just something we could put in their food. Although I've heard that for big cats, they are developing like a birth control thing. And now with dogs, they're just doing ovary removal so it doesn't mess up their hormones so much. Right. We got balls. We got balls everywhere. Balls and ovaries and future kittens that we want to prevent. Because here's what will happen is the neighbor's cat will have kittens, and we'll find ourselves in the position of trying to find them homes because that's just who we are. We couldn't watch the kittens just be wild and starving. Oh yeah, Charlie's about to lose his, huh? All right. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, I thought that charger thing wasn't going to work. So it's possible my phone might die. If it does, you'll be fine. I'll be back tomorrow. Oh, Tingsha. Have a good look. They won't be there for much longer. Cat porn. Ooh, inappropriate Periscope. You can find all the stuff that I do. Oh, look at that cabinet's open. My dad must have been in here. He and I both leave the cabinets open. It drives everyone we live with crazy. I know, right? He's like, look at my balls. Look at my giant cat balls. CaddyshackDesigns.com. You may not want to go there now after all this cat sex discussion. But you can go to... I know. They're so proud of what they have. CaddyshackDesigns.com. I actually do some serious work. Don't look at my husband's junk back there. That's disgusting. I do Reiki. I do coaching. Desire Map workshops. Speaking of which, the Desire Map workshop's coming at the end of May. I have it. Oh, God. I have it set on Tuesday nights. After today, I will know if I'm going to get to go to magic school, and so the night may change. But at the end of May, the next Desire Map workshop starts, and you can find that at feelings feelings.eventbrite.com. feelings.eventbrite.com, or you can go to tinyurl.com/wolf events. Well, I would love to have you. I totally would. It is $345, $354 once the Eventbrite fees are tacked onto it. But you get, what you get is not in the description because I'm not able to put it into words. The kind of coaching that I do is not describable for me at this time. I haven't found the words. So it's not there. You'll know if you're meant to be in that workshop if you feel it in your gut and if you feel it in your heart. That's the best I can tell people. If you feel a yearning to work with me, then I'm the right person for you. And unfortunately, I can't spell it all out for you. Thanks, guys. I'm glad that you've all benefited from it. If you're that kind of, brain that needs all the specifics, I can't give it to you. But if you feel a yearning, if you're here now or watching the replay, if you feel a yearning, go check out the link and see I'm excited to have you, Nina. I can't wait. So I'll have, if there's any changes to the day, the night of the week I'll be doing it, I'll let you guys know as soon as possible. I know, I love it. It so makes me feel great that my work is called life-changing, and that's huge for me. It took a big leap of faith for me to start using my intuitive skills, letting people know I have them and using them in this way. And the personal rewards from that have been fantastic. It's wonderful. I love it. Yeah, still changing. It's just the beginning. It starts the process, which keeps going and going and going and going. I do a lot of work with you on energetic blocks and story stuff. And the desire map is just a structure that gives us a framework to follow, but it is not even probably 25% of what we actually do. And it's a group energy. It's not just me. It's the power of the group. I'm the focal point. And I might direct it a little, but it's the power of a group. So, let's talk about the Tao. We're on 79. Let me get us in this book. This is the book I start with, so I like it a lot. I like it a lot, which also came from Nina. Lookingforwisdom.com, you guys. Keeping the contract. After a great enmity is settled, some enmity always remains. How to make peace. Wise souls keep their part of the contract and don't make demands on others. People whose power is real fulfill their obligations. People whose power is hollow insist on their claims. The way of heaven plays no favorites. It stays with the good. Her notes say this chapter is equally relevant to private relationships and to political treaties. Its realistic morality is based on a mystical perception of the fullness of the way. The way of heaven plays no favorites. It stays with the good. And it's not because the good are the good. It's because the good are in alignment with the way. So it's not that... well, if you're good, you get the goodies. It's that if you are living a good life, you're in alignment with, he wants this string. You're in alignment with the forces that keep you in the flow. So it's not like a Christmas list kind of situation. It's, I don't know if I'm saying this well, but we think too often that we have to be good, like in a moral sense. And I'm talking about good in a laws of the universe sense. If you're being true to yourself, if you're being authentic, if you're speaking your truth as best you can, you're doing your best to not hurt people, you're in the flow. Yes, alignment equals more goodness and more goodies, but it's not a moral judgment, because plenty of immoral people also get goodies. It's just the way they do it means they're always scrambling and scrapping to hold on to it and to build more. Whereas being in alignment with life and universal principles is, it comes to you and you know that more will come, so you're easy with it. You have a comfortable, relaxed existence rather than a mercurial, like a Machiavellian kind of, I gotta, dog eat dog kind of existence. Speaking of dogs, there's a couple out here. If somebody wants to come get them, I'll help you pack them up. Buddy, I need you to stop trying to mark my phone there. You're pushing my shit around. Okay, does that make sense? Like, being in line with the way equals goodness, but it's not about good versus bad. It's not about you're a crappy person or a good person. It's just working those principles. So in the Stephen Mitchell version, in this book, failure is an opportunity. If you blame someone else, there is no end to the blame. Yes, rightness. The rightness of it, not necessarily the goodness of it. Good is a loaded word. Therefore, the master fulfills her own obligations and corrects her own mistakes. She does what she needs to do and demands nothing of others. That the demanding part is key. That's entitlement. In my opinion, that's what it rings to me is entitlement. We don't get to demand that other people do our bidding or that the world do our bidding. We do get to ask. And asking for help is a struggle for lots of us. And I struggle with that a lot. And I know some of you do too. It's our culture doesn't make it easy to ask for help, and then our personal nature of wanting to do it all ourselves and not wanting to have help, and not part of that's not wanting to be out of control. If you ask for help, then you have to take the help that you get, and it might not be up to your standards. Hi, Cynthia. Or it might not be, comfortable. Our culture tends to put a tint of shame on needing to ask for help or needing help at all. Good morning, Cynthia. So there's that. That's an issue that's kind of up in my face lately, is needing help and needing to get comfortable with that you can ask for help and it doesn't have to be justified. You can just ask for it. And then people can help or not help, and that's just the way of it. But the ability to ask for help without needing to justify what you're asking for help with, whether it's cats or school or whatever, that's been a little bit of a tangle in my energy lately that I've been working on. And when I say working on, I mean writing down the discomfort and sitting with the discomfort wherever I feel it in my body, which is really like around in here, and breathing into that. And practicing getting comfortable with receiving support. Because that's what it's really about. It's a discomfort with receiving support. Well, if you're uncomfortable with receiving support from people, then you've blocked off a lot of universal flow, because how else is it supposed to get to you if it doesn't come through other people? I have stepped on money before, but the majority of your help is going to come through the vehicle of other physical bodies, which you're just, you share a consciousness with anyway. So you're really just, at the end of the day, you're helping yourself with a different face is all, if that makes sense. When I help someone else and the flow is good and the energy is equivalent and everything's going well, it's all in alignment, then it's me helping me, you helping you. When we make a prayer for help, it has to come to us somehow, and that's usually through the form of another person. So you have to get comfortable. So that's like the thing, oh, Angela, that's the worst. Why is it doing that? I hate that. That's the prayer thing, or that old story thing where it's flooding and the guy's sitting on the roof of a house and he keeps saying, God, send me help, and, God sends a canoe, and the guy's like, no, God's going to save me, so, move along. And then he sends a boat, he sends a boat, and then he sends a helicopter or whatever. You know this story. You guys have to know this story. And then, he drowns. And he's like, God, why didn't you save me? And he says, I sent you 3 options to get off the roof and survive. You didn't take them. So we have to be willing to take the help from other people, which is accepting the help from Source. And I don't have that fully settled in my body yet, but I'm working on it. Can I have my book, please? Boy, this little guy's giving Tonka, the naughtiest cat in the world, a run for his money. 1,000 Names for Joy. Let's see what Byron Katie has to say about all this. Failure is an opportunity. Isn't it? It's interesting. Excuse me. Really? Oh my God. I'm going to have to go watch the replay. It's interesting that yesterday we talked about failure with Elizabeth Gilbert, and today we're talking about failure as being an opportunity. It's how we approach it. If we can approach our difficulties as creative challenges, as puzzles to solve, Martha Beck advocates that a lot. Like, look at your challenges as a puzzle and view yourself as a puzzle, a solver of puzzles. Yes, and that's been difficult for me to get my head around. So I always put myself in these situations where I really, really need help, and I'm required to ask for it. So you would think by now I'd be comfortable with it. But I'm not entirely. It's better. Excuse me, Tingshaw. He's trying really hard to knock the phone over. Okay, buddy. Let's try and get some work done here, okay? Okay. And we're all talking about failure, and we're all talking about accepting help and not doing it alone. So it's pretty interesting timing. So let's see. It's impossible to fail at anything. Your success just may not look the way you thought it would. If your goal was to go from point A to point C, for example, and you went from point A to point B, that's not a half success, it's a complete success. Yeah, I agree. If you can go all the way to C, good. Don't we love it when our dreams come true? But if you get only halfway, there's no sane reason to think you failed at that task. It's your job to open your mind and realize why it's better to have gotten to B than to C. In life, there's a sweeter dream than yours, and that's reality. That's the ultimate dream, the kindest dream. We don't know where we're going. We just like to imagine that we know. I like to imagine I know where I'm going, and I never do. I never believe it. That way, wherever I am, my journey is complete, and I'm a success because here I am. Our nature is goodness. I know that's true because any thought that sees something as not good feels like stress. I can't be rejected. That's not possible. If someone says, I don't want to be with you, I think, how wonderful. He's showing me whom not to be with. I don't take it personally. I remember when I didn't want to be with me either. So I can appreciate his feeling and join him there. And I understand that the reason he doesn't want to be with me is that he believes what he thinks about me. He can't help it because he hasn't questioned his mind. So that's, believing his story about her, or believing his projections about her, which really have very little to do with the reality of her. We all do that. We all put our stories on each other. We put our perceptions on each other, which may or may not be accurate. And it's just how it is. It's just what we do. And we get around that by suspending our tendency to label. That's where meditation can help you a lot, it can help you feel the rise and fall of your thoughts and feelings and the stories that you tell. It can help you see them in action rising and falling. So you're able to detach from them a little bit easier, because you start to really see that they just arise out of nothing and they go back into nothing unless we grab onto them and start to, build, air castles with them that are mostly false. We tell lots of stories about people, and very rarely are they actually true. Every time you think you have failed, you're identifying as a failure. Hi, Susan. And every time this identification arises, other thoughts surface that attempt to prove it. So you label yourself, and then you start looking around your environment and gathering evidence to support your new story. That can be a negative, or it can be a positive. If you've been unsuccessful in life the way you'd like to be, and you decide that you'd like to experience more freedom, you can label yourself as a person who experiences freedom and start looking around your environment for evidence to shore that up. Then you'll see more, you build more evidence, you shore it up. Before you know it, you're living a different life. That's how the confused mind stays confused. How mind allows itself to live in the illusion of a past that never existed. If someone said, "Katie, you failed to answer my email," I would laugh to myself and think, well, of course, there's no other way for me to succeed at being me. And then I might say, tell me what your email was about, because we're here right now, so let's talk about it. I took a test in a women's magazine. I was waiting in a hair salon. The magazine caught my eye, and I opened it at random. The headline said, "How good a lover are you?" Must have been Cosmo she was reading. It's all about that, isn't it? Cosmopolitan's like the worst magazine. There was a page full of questions. Do you prepare for his arrival? No. Do you put on sexy lingerie? Nope. Do you try special techniques to please him? No. I added up my numbers at the end and discovered I had flunked the test. I loved that. To their mind, I am a dud. I am a sexual failure. According to Cosmo magazine. Excuse you. Excuse you, sir. Pardon me. To my mind, Aaron, you missed if you were here, I don't know if you saw the beginning, but he's like all over the place. What do they know? They don't know shit. So, to my mind, I'm the perfect lover. Why would I prepare for his arrival? How could I project anything better than Stephen? And why would I bother? He is all I want when he walks in the door and in every moment. Do I wear sexy lingerie? It might be fun, and I notice that the thought never occurs to me. Oh, yes, he is feeling a lot better. Do I have special techniques to please him? Why would I try to please him? He's already pleased, and I did nothing for it. What were those editors thinking? Love is not a doing, nor is making love. Who needs props or techniques when the heart is wide open? The real plan is always the way of it, eliminating the need for any plan I might have. I don't know a thing about pleasing or being pleased, so there's no way I can't be the perfect lover. That's interesting. Oh my gosh, you guys, I can't wait to have him out of the camper. It's too small in here for a cat. It's way too small. So, it's interesting that several days now we've been talking about failure, getting over it, seeing it differently, deconstructing our stories about what failure means, what it means to aim for a goal and miss the target, and forgiveness. How do we forgive ourselves for our failures, even when they're multiple, and maybe multiples of multiples? Hi, Ben. A different Ben. Yes? So if you're struggling with failure, the concept of failure, like, oh my God, I have had so many failures, I'm a big old fat failure, that kind of stuff. Let me make sure I'm following. Follow. Okay, gotcha. I'll gotcha. Oh, hold on. Damn it. Ah, cripes. Okay, I can't get the screen out of the way. Um, okay, well that hasn't happened before. Nope, I don't. Okay, you guys, I've covered my screen. And usually it goes away when I hit the back button, but it's not going away. Oh, there we go. Surprise! I think the whole message of the Big Magic book, Elizabeth Gilbert's book, and this book too, is the best thing you can do for yourself is to let go of stories in general. I'm really enjoying it. Labels in general, because yes, very good. Labels turn into stories, right? And then our stories wrap us up in chains. So Byron Katie's whole point is, and Buddhism and the Tao and all of that, is letting go of the labels can help you see the stories you're telling right now and either tell different stories or let go of needing to have a story. At some point, you don't need to have a definition anymore. At some point, you don't feel the need to define what you are and who you are and what you're doing and how you're doing it. And, as a justification for your existence, you just can exist. Yes. That's what she says all the time. If you let go of needing to define yourself, if you let go of needing to justify your existence, then it doesn't, you can't get caught up in defensiveness. You can't get caught up in comparison. How can you compare an indefinable existence to someone else's existence that is defined? The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. Yes, exactly. So we talk about story because that's where we're at right now. But ultimately, the more areas of your life where you can let go of it, because why do we do that? Because we want to have something to tell other people. We want to be able to explain to other people who we are, what we're about, what we believe, what we like and don't like. If we like dark chocolate or milk chocolate, if we like, vanilla or whatever. At some point, you don't need to do that anymore. Yeah, it increases our perception that we're separate. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it wherever you're at. But recognize that it is a limit. It's a limitation. And we, just like she said when she had her big breakthrough, it was hard to communicate with people. Because if you're living fully in that indefinable state, you're going to have a hard time navigating this world, which is where ego and mind can be your friend. Ego and mind, if you're friendly with them, can help you know when you need to communicate through story and when you can just be completely undefined. There are some times when you're dealing with people that you need to communicate with them, and to do so you have to speak the language, which is labels and definitions. But the bigger part of you understands that it's just a method of communicating. It's just a way to connect to someone and possibly help them or learn from them. It's a temporary tool that you use to communicate ideas to each other, but it doesn't have to be who you are. You don't have to define yourself that way anymore. You don't have to tell stories about yourself. Do you see what I mean? So it's like a skill you turn off and you turn it on when you need it. When you're hanging out and you don't need to communicate with people, you let yourself be unlabeled and free from all that. Yeah, it's just a tool. It's a communication tool. It's just like if I went to Germany, I would need to know a little bit of German to be able to communicate with German people who don't speak English. But I would know that I'm not a German speaker. Ugh, dinner with coworker friends. Yes, you have to speak the language, and that's okay. So you speak the language when you need it. You use stories when you need them. And then you let them go the rest of the time. And even when you're using them as a tool, you understand that it's a tool. It's just a tool. It's not you. It's symbolic interaction. Are you familiar with that? It's a sociology concept, theory, symbolic interactionism. It means we have to use the symbols of, we have to use words to communicate our symbols. And we have to be able to know each other's symbols and words to connect and communicate. That's all it is, symbolic interactionism. If you're interested in geeky stuff like that, just go Google SI, sociology, or symbolic interactionism. Put that in Uncle Google, and you will learn a lot about how words and concepts and symbols are tools. Story is tool. Yes, they do, and we need to utilize them to communicate sometimes. But we need to never forget that they're tools to communicate, not the truth of who we are. It's not the truth of who we are at the core. It's a way of talking to each other. It's a way of sharing experiences. But the sunset I see is never going to be the sunset you see, because we think in different symbols, and we have different experiences, and we have different eye receptors, and I'm quite sure the colors that we see are not exactly the same. But we can communicate our shared experience through the use of the tools of stories and words. It is. So, how you like them apples? That's your apples for the day. Love to you. Thanks for coming by. I'm going to keep this one kind of short. I got stuff going on today that I'd like to spend some time in meditation before I do. And I have to tend to the details of life, like it's an apple a day. You going to go chew on that apple? Good. We've got like 7 loads of laundry piled up. Here's our deal. We're supposed to put the laundry basket by the couch, and whoever's watching TV is supposed to fold the laundry. But we've both been watching TV, and the laundry is not folded. So that's my goal today, is to watch the 2nd season of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and fold the freaking laundry. Chop wood, carry water. Sometimes all you can do is the freaking housework. Aaron, it's the only way it gets done. It's a great system when it works, because then I can justify watching Netflix. Oh, Angela, it makes me laugh so hard. Except when it doesn't. And we know it shouldn't work when it doesn't. Okay, you guys, I'll see you tomorrow for Big Magic. And have a wonderful day. And just know that I'm holding you in a vision of you being free from labels. Yes, Tanya. Tanya, what's your big dream? Tomorrow I'm generally on between 9:30 and 10 at the ballpark. Oh, Juliana, we're just wrapping up. Watch the replay. I'm sure you'll get some good things out of it. And since failure is coming up so much, find some places that you are judging yourself and let yourself off the hook. And once again, check out lookingforwisdom.com. I know. Have a great day. Susan, you guys are so funny. Blessings on your heads. You're welcome.